Hi everyone, in this video I will be talking about all the 6 teams that have qualified for the LEC Summer Split Playoffs and how they got there.
4,000 HP, 3,000 HP, 2,500. Oh, he got to the rocket grab, pulled inside, flash down, goes back in. Gilius, he still there! He does it! Gilius, you are a god amongst men!
Bow to your lord in God Gilius!
Schalke 04 began the summer split with a simple goal: improve. The team had finished the spring split in the 8th position, notoriously going 0-7 in the first weeks of that split. During the 10 weeks of off-season, the team tried to improve its roster, but according to Odoamne, all deals fell through.
Some of the time in the off-season with scrims was like split between like trying out players from other teams or like other orgs and trying out our own players, and then it kind of got swapped. And then at the last moment, the deals would like fall with like the people we were like tryouting. So we're kind of like again back to square one with, and then the academy experiment started.
Following this, Schalke 04 tried to find the best combination of its roster, trying out different combinations with the players on the main team and their academy team. After the tryouts, the team landed on the composition of Odoamne, Lurox, Abadage, Inex and Sir Nukesalot. It didn't work out at all. Once again, Schalke 04 fell down the ladder. After an 0-3 opening weekend, the team already swapped out its bot lane and subbed in Neon and Dreams. In week 3, due to jungler Lurox being ill, Gilius was subbed in as the jungler for Schalke 04. Still, the results didn't show immediately. While it was noticeable that Gilius had a positive impact on the team's gameplay, which was the reason they kept playing with him from there on out, it wasn't until week 4 that Schalke 04 picked up its first win, ending the first half with a 1-8 score. The first weekend after the break did not look promising either. With a loss against Rogue and SK Gaming, and at a 1-10 score, the team seemed doomed to finish dead last. But by some miraculous switch being flipped, the story turned around. With Gilius in the lead on outstanding performances, Schalke's climb back up began. Abadage started showing up, Odoamne started showing up, and, albeit more quietly, Neon and Dreams supported their roster, also stepping up their game. Everyone on Schalke 04 was in sync. Schalke didn't have their qualification in their own hands entirely, but, obviously, needed to win every game in order to keep their chances as high as possible. Heading into the final weekend and on a 4-game win streak, Schalke's odds of making it to the playoffs were just below 10%. But the chaos that has been the summer split struck perfectly. With Schalke finishing the season with a 7-0 win streak, they were relying on either G2 beating XL or SK beating Fnatic. When G2 beat XL, it meant that Schalke 04 had completed the first part of their miracle run and had qualified as 6th seed for the Summer Split Playoffs. In the lower bracket, they'll meet SK Gaming to keep their world's dream alive.
By SK, True Shot Barrage connects onto Dan, and that is a solar flare of note, locking up Feberbin. DOS gets taken out, and look at Genax with the slam dunk. Trick isn't done yet. That's the showstopper. Misfits are done. SK Gaming have got themselves 4 dragons, 5 kills, 6 kills in the advantage, but can it get turned around? Cobbies goes down. He gets 1 before he's chomped out of existence.
In similar fashion to Schalke 04, SK Gaming had a lot to improve on. The spring split ended in a disappointing 9th place. During the off-season, the team made 3 pivotal changes. Mid laner Genax swapped to being a top laner, and Sazi joined the team as their new mid laner. In the coaching department, Jetsis was added as head coach, with former head coach Unlimited shifting to assistant coach, and Kanani becoming the team's strategic coach. From the get-go, SK Gaming looked promising. With a 2-1 opening weekend, including a victory over Origin, who looked decent then and would defeat G2 in the same weekend, SK Gaming immediately placed itself in the top half of the LEC standings. It is a spot that they wouldn't let go of for the majority of the split. Only in week 4, the only 0-2 weekend of the summer split for SK Gaming, did the team briefly drop to a shared 6th place. However, SK Gaming was remarkably consistent in this split, especially given how the perceived top teams in the LEC seemed to struggle. SK Gaming mostly played through their star bot laner, Crownshot, who had a stellar performance this split. However, his teammates had their moments too. Genax proved that his swap to the top lane was a good one, immediately rising to the top half of the top laners in the LEC. While Trick, Zazie and Limit more often than not had a supportive role in the team, they rarely held the team back. Whenever SK Gaming would lose a game, it would be because of poor team coordination or simply superior individual skill from the opponents. SK Gaming was the perfect middle of the pack team in this split. While they went 0-2 overall against Exile and Fnatic, they won twice against Schalke, Alfear and Origin. Against all other teams, including Rogue, Mad Lions and G2, SK Gaming has a 1-1 record. On tiebreakers, SK Gaming ended the regular split in the 5th position with a 9-9 record overall, tied with Fnatic. SK achieved their goal and rose to the occasion in the summer split. SK will face a fearsome opponent in Schalke Alfear as their first enemy in the summer split playoffs lower bracket.
Nuke though is going to step forward. There's the heal, the Tempered Fate. On to Bwippa. Reckless stepping back. Curtain call. Looking to make this curtains for Origin. Nuke the first on the menu. He's sliding those shots around the Alfari. And now Alfari goes down for the double. Bwippa will take it. 8-2 for Fnatic.
For Fnatic, there was only one step to improve. They finished second in the spring split after trumping Origin and Mad Lions, but losing against rivals G2. The summer split kicked off with great success for the team. With a 3-0 score, it seems like nothing had changed and Fnatic would once again have an easy time staying at the top. However, the subsequent weeks were quick to highlight the flaws within the team. 2 0-2 weekends in a row followed, with nothing short of abysmal team play. Rarely had a team with so much raw talent, let alone a team as big as Fnatic, looked so uncoordinated. Players were diving in without follow-ups, teamfights were a mess, and Fnatic was simply outclassed in every way. During these weeks, it was jungler Selfmade, newest addition to the roster, who tried to carry his team, sometimes assisted by Reckless, but it didn't matter. The team ended the first half with a 4-5 score. About the difficult time in Fnatic, Bwippa said in an interview, "It was harder to be a team. It was harder to be okay with people making mistakes. It was harder to be happy about things going well. Celebrating isn't as good. Defeat becomes almost suffocating at times. Everything you do is harder. It isn't as genuine anymore, and there are feelings of not being able to rely on something. It is pretty tough to deal with at times." Fnatic has never given off the goofy, friendly vibe with their team atmosphere, the same way G2 or Mad Lions have. It has always been clear that Fnatic was about winning at all costs. However, when the winning was absent, the team crumbled. After a short break before week 5, Fnatic looked a bit better, but not much. They continued to show great flaws in their play. However, luck was on their side. On multiple occasions in the split, Fnatic scraped together wins in games they should not have ever had a chance of winning. Most famously, both games Fnatic played against Misfits were handed to Fnatic on the silver platter. 2 times Misfits had an astonishingly large lead, and 2 times they somehow managed to throw the game and grant Fnatic a win. No, it's easy to see that Fnatic would not have made playoffs if some of their opponents hadn't forgotten about the basics of League of Legends. However bad Fnatic may have looked the split, they still were regarded by many teams as a top team. All their opponents are convinced that Fnatic has the ability to pull themselves together as they head into the playoffs. Fnatic already looked much better in the final week of the LEC, where they defeated direct competitors SK Gaming dominantly. Their first opponent in the Summer Split Playoffs? First place team Rogue.
Continues to chase. He's going to get caught up by a Sonic Wave. Ward hop away from Shadow. Now he's in trouble. Shadow uses the kickback. Hero's entrance comes down from Humanoid. That's already dead. Now Humanoid's the next target. G2, they're finding a way back. That's a 3-man Heroes Duran. And now all of a sudden Perks is in trouble. Arome's in the fight. He manages to get the counter-strike.
Watch Carzzy, watch Carzzy!
Down. Carzzy needs to do something magical here. All of a sudden Yankos is in trouble. Wonder's in trouble. Mad Lions are picking apart G2 Esports.
Mad Lions had a dream start to 2020. The rookie squad entered the LEC with guns blazing, finishing the spring split in 3rd place in the playoffs in a run that included a victory over eventual champions G2. The next step, evidently, was to make it to the 1st place. After a minor hurdle in the very first summer split match, Mad Lions went on a tear. A 7-game win streak followed, and with increasingly hilariously post-match celebrations, the team captured the hearts of the fans. Shadow on his Lee Sin, Humanoid on Orianna, and Kaiser on the Wukong support absolutely styled on their opponents. With their drafts and gameplay, Mad Lions graced Summoner's Rift. Only in week 4, the final match of the first half of the summer split, did the team lose once more, this time against Misfits. Mad Lions seemed locked in for a fight with Rogue for the #1 spot in the summer split. When they absolutely stomped G2 in the revenge match in week 5, Mad Lions seemed unstoppable. However, the Rainbow Riot didn't last much longer. In week 6 and 7, the team went 1-1, losing to SK Gaming and Vitality. It started to look like the Mad Lions had run out of creativity and the opponents were figuring them out. Thankfully for Mad Lions, direct competitors Rogue kept producing the same results. The two teams kept going head to head. In the final weekend of the LEC Summer Split, everything was on the line. When on the first day Rogue lost their game and Mad Lions won against Misfits, the ball was completely in Mad Lions' court. In a direct confrontation with Rogue, they could secure the #1 spot in the LEC Summer Split. However, it wasn't meant to be. Rogue trumped the Mad Lions. The score was tied again and it all came down to both teams' final matches. However, the final opponent Mad Lions faced was the revived and bloodthirsty Schalke 04 squad. While the early game was close, Schalke 04 decimated Mad Lions in the end. About the rocky final of weeks of the split, Kaiser said,
I feel like we had some stress issues when it comes to end of summer, and I think that really showed in our like scrims as well. Like I think we were getting a bit too tilted or like too stressed. We're just like not like the happy team, I guess, and I think that really showed.
Still, Mad Lions finished the summer split in an impressive second place and as the third seed for the playoffs based on the championship points earned in spring and summer. They'll be facing off against G2 once more, repeating the match they played in the first round of the spring split finals.
The follow-up damage to someone else and get it started. Whipple's ult now coming in. Where is it going to go? It's going to connect on 3 members. That's a good start. But Wonder's disrupted the entire team, pulling Nemesis into the Delta Realm, denying that Galio front line. Whipple now pulled back. The rest of the team collapsing. Whipple going to get taken out before the fight even starts. And Wonder's in the midst of everyone. And he's just not taking any damage. Absolutely unkillable. And here comes Nemesis, but into the jaws of G2 he goes. Fnatic turning. Reckless suddenly firing back. They're holding on for now, but G2 still winning. Oh no, nothing left for the Aphelios. Shut down, taken out. Give him the triple. Give him the quadra. Perks, an absolute monster.
For G2, there was little to improve on heading into the summer split. The Kings of Europe had brushed off Fnatic with ease in the spring split finals and were looking to repeat that performance, once again swapping Caps and Perks. Caps was sent back to the mid lane and Perks to the bot lane. However, shortly before the summer split started, G2 was ruffled. Perks' father passed away, and while Perks did play during that weekend, G2 came in unprepared. While they recovered in week 2, the subsequent weeks were meager at best. In week 4, Perks took an early break and substitute Pinoy got to play on the stage. It didn't make much of a difference in terms of results. Despite some moments where it looked like G2 was back in shape, led by some outstanding performances from Caps, G2 ended the first half of the split with a 5-4 score, below expectations. The second half of the summer split did not start too greatly either for G2, kicking off with an 0-2 in disappointing fashion. However, in week 6 something seemed to click within the team. While G2 looked worse than ever in their match against Schalke 04, the team switched gears immediately after. Not every victory was equally as clean by any means, but finally G2 was winning again. Still, while the banter on social media kept going during these weeks, the pressure was felt within the team.
And unfortunately, it's not a single thing, right? We do many individual mistakes, silly mistakes, play better on priority. So we're just playing bad right now, and that's just the truth. And we're confident that we can switch it around with preparation, but it's hard.
Quietly, while Rogue and Mad Lions continued to fight for the #1 spot and everybody was focused on Schalke 04's miracle run, G2 kept stringing wins together. They took down frontrunner Rogue, rivals Fnatic, and surprise contender SK Gaming, climbing back up in the rankings. While G2 is not completely back in shape yet, they looked far more stable than their direct opponents Fnatic, whose shape is still questionable. G2 ended the summer split's double round robin phase as third. However, due to their spring split finish, they had a bulk of championship points, qualifying them as a second seed for the summer split playoffs. They meet Mad Lions once again, much like they did in the spring split playoffs.
Here comes another TP.
They're burning everything. Every single resource left in the game. Hansama going forward, maybe. Can
Oh
Syndra
no,
steal
Syndra.
it? Syndra looking for the setup. You gotta get it! Hansama, are you kidding me?
The Schalke 04 miracle run may have been the most explosive rise in LEC in years, but the transformation of Rogue is nothing to be unimpressed by either. In the spring split, this team had an on and off dynamic. At times, when the roster clicked, it looked promising, but that synergy happened too inconsistently. Their spring playoffs run ended quickly, stranding them in a 5th place. But the break did Rogue good. From the beginning, Rogue sat near the top of the standings. Their initial 3-0 opening weekend was brushed away by some as an easy schedule early on. However, the results kept coming for Rogue. Only against G2 and Mad Lions did Rogue lose in the first half of the split. While mid laner Larsen was the obvious standout player, Rogue to this day funnels many resources to him so he can shine, it wasn't just his individual skill that rose to the occasion. As was highlighted on the broadcast in the LEC, Rogue had incredible macro play, knowing exactly where to step. When they went for something, they did so in unison. Much like Mad Lions, Rogue struggled a bit more towards the end of the summer split. With the pressure mounting and every match mattering, Rogue began to have trouble closing out games. Their match against G2 in week 6 was all but won when Rogue fumbled and let an opportunity to become number 1 in the standings slip away. In the final weekend, Rogue and Mad Lions were still head to head. As mentioned earlier, Rogue's match against Mad Lions on the second day of week 8 was a do or die for Rogue to still have a chance to finish first. And they made it happen. Confidently, they tied for first place with Mad Lions again. On the final day, after Mad Lions had lost their match against Schalke 04, Rogue once again had the opportunity to become the sole number 1 in the LEC. This time, they didn't fumble. They won their match against Origin, secured the number 1 spot in the LEC, became the first seed for playoffs, and with that, grabbed their ticket to Worlds. Even if not all players were aware of it at the moment that it happened.
So, we just tried to not watch the game. We knew the result when we went into the game. Not Finn though.
I didn't know.
He actually didn't know the result. So when we won the game against the region, Finn actually asked, did Mad win or lose? And then I was saying Worlds baby, and Finn was like, oh.
These are the stories so far of the teams that have made it to the LEC Summer Split. Starting from Friday, the 21st of August, we will find out who will stay in the race for the LEC Summer Split Championship and who will be representing the region at the World Championship. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content.